What's going on, guys? Glenn, Midtown Power Washers, beautiful Memphis, Tennessee. You've heard me talk time and time again about CRMs and the importance of them in my business. The one that I have been using for over a year now is called Markate, and we have partnered with them. There's going to be a link in the description. Check them out. It'll get you a 2-week free trial. You can go in there, you can mess with it, you can kind of feel it out and see if it's something for you, see if it'll work for your business. But for me, when I was starting out, the thing I was looking for was something that could grow with me, something where I wasn't paying an astronomical amount of money every month for a lot of services that I may or may not use, right? That was the selling point for Markate for me. The selling point of, you start out, this base package of, I think it's $29.99, gets me started, gets me going. It keeps track of all the information of all my customers. I can do all of my estimates. I can do all of my invoicing. I can keep track of all my receipts, all that stuff through this software, starting out, right? And then I can add on things later as I need them, right? That basic thing of keeping customers' information, keeping that name, number, email, address, those 4 things, those are the big 4 we get on everything. And if I'm just writing them down and keeping them somewhere, or keeping them in notes on my phone, or keeping them in even in QuickBooks, or whatever I'm doing, it's just not as efficient for me to be able to pull up as it is if I could pull up an app and everything is just right there in front of me. And I can pull up and immediately send them over an estimate, immediately send them over an invoice. I can go back and I can send text blast, I can send email blast to everybody if we're running a special. A couple of those little add-ons that we're talking about at the beginning, you're not going to need to do that because you're not going to have a customer base to do that from, right? So this software is a very powerful tool, and it is the first step into implementing systems into my business. This was the first thing that I did as far as paying for something that's going to lighten the load, right? It's going to take away some of that work and some of that headache of keeping track of everything. It automatically does all of that. Since then, we've integrated it with Responsibid. It's another add-on. And now I use it in a different way, but it still has a great purpose in my business. So again, the link in the description, you'll get 2 weeks to check it out. This is just a screen share from my phone because that's where I use it 90% of the time.
All right, so we're going to bring up Markate real quick. I'm just going to start out just showing you a couple of basics that's on the front page. You have a route planner right here at the top right. So that's if you have employees, if you add that on, that is an add-on to this. And you can add them on, you give them the route and everything that they needed to be doing every single day. Expenses, keep track of all your receipts, every time you put gas in the truck, every time you put gas in the pressure washer, every time you buy a little something, every time you order chemicals, every expense should be on here because that'll keep track of everything in one place and makes it easier at the end of the year, not only to see your profit margin, but to do your taxes. Estimates, obviously that's all the estimates, and it'll show you. If I click on estimates, these are all the estimates that I've sent in the last, since March started. And then that kind of shows the eyes that are open. Now, once we've done the work, the estimates are gone off, right? So like once they accept it and we've finished the work, it'll go from your estimates and it'll be changed to an invoice. So like this Holiday Inn job right here, it was accepted on March 9th. We're in the process of doing that this week. So it got changed over to a work order automatically right here, and it's scheduled. And then I've got a couple of new ones that I need to get scheduled. And then after that is done, it will disappear from all those and go straight over here to your invoices. All right. And then I've already showed you work orders. And then you got customers right here. Every time a customer calls, every time you come in contact with a customer, you get those big 4. You get the name, you get a phone number, you get an email, and an address. Those are the 4 main things. You have options for commercial and residential. And we'll just do one real quick to show you guys what it kind of looks like. test email test at gmail.com. And we're not going to notify. I always like to notify both, but since that's a test email, we're not going to notify by email. We'll notify by text. Please don't call that number. I will not answer you. And then we'll put the address in here. And so say it's going to be 83, and then it'll start pulling up, right? So 83, whatever the case may be. We're just going to do a random one. We're going to do 837 Craft Road, okay? And then you got a customer source down here at the bottom. We always like to put in a customer source that keeps track of where our marketing is working. If I'm getting more leads off of Google than I am off of Facebook, I'm probably going to put more money towards Google than I am Facebook, and vice versa. Or if yard signs are what you're doing, you're getting hit on a lot of yard signs, well, maybe you want to take some of the money away from somewhere else and put it back at yard signs. At the bottom, all these, they get a request for a review. So get those Google reviews. That's always helps. You need to remind them and re-remind them several times about those Google reviews. So we'll hit the check mark. What do we have? What comes up? So the customer is created. We have a new event. So if I'm wanting to go do a in-person estimate, I would hit new event. I don't do many in-persons unless it's commercial. But I would talk to them, say, hey, do you need to be on property? Would you like to walk around? Whatever the case may be. We'll hit a new event. I'll schedule it out. We'll go out. We'll talk to the customer. We'll see what they need done. We'll check out the house, get measurements, whatever it is that we need to do, we'll do on that new event. All right, so we're going to do a new estimate. Okay, you have these 3 different options: standard estimate, options estimate, packages estimate. I don't know much about the packages estimate. Okay, I have ResponsiBid is integrated into this now, so I never really got into those packages. I'm using ResponsiBid to run most of my bundling and stuff like that. I have used a lot of the standards estimate that just gives them a straightforward estimate of, they want a roof, they want a house done, it just gives them the total of what that would be. Options will give them options to click on which one of those that they want. I found that the standard estimate is just a better way to go about it. Because they're not going to go in and click on the options, okay? And that's the way I used to do things. Again, we're running ResponsiBid now, so the way I use this is a lot different from starting out, but I'm trying to show you guys, like, starting out, what's the easiest and the ease of use this has. All right, so we'll do a standard estimate. Boom, it brings up all my information right there. I'll go in here. I'll add a service just by hitting the plus, and then I'll hit add item. And say they want a 2,400 square foot roof wash. All right. I'll put in the rate. I don't have any idea, but this is just off the top of my head. $800. All right. And then if you want to give them a discount, say you're running 20% off roof washes this month, or say you're running 15% off roof washes this month. Boom. 15% off. Item description. Be very detailed in this part. Tell them the entire process. Tell them what you're going to do to mitigate any landscape damage. What are you guys going to go in there and do? The more detailed you are, the more comfortable they feel. And you just have to kind of play with that and see what works for you on that. But I found that the more detailed I am with these estimates, because the whole point of this is to look like a bigger company than what I am, look extremely professional, which I already am, and I want my business to be portrayed like that, so I need to go in here and be thorough with these estimates, okay? So I'm going to request a deposit, which we never do with pressure washing. I do it when I'm doing my Christmas lights. I always request a deposit. And then you have your estimate number. And then if you look down here, you have a message to customer. We look forward to hearing from you, blah, 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 blah. There's more to go. You can put in whatever preset you want there. You can just type out something. My terms and conditions also at the bottom. By them accepting this estimate, they are accepting my terms and conditions. Regardless if they click on that link or not, they're accepting it. Okay? And then if at the bottom, I can upload images, I can take pictures. That really helps out a lot when I'm trying to upsell something, say it's a roof wash or whatever. You know, I can upsell that stuff. So by giving them like a before, this is what you got going on in your roof, you know, that type of stuff. But also to have those before and afters just really help out. And I'm just going to go back in here and show you, like, we're going to go back to the original 2,400 square foot. I didn't really go into much detail, but in those services, just make sure you're very detailed in what you're doing. Then I'll hit the check mark. Okay. So there we go. And this tells how they can pay. We look forward to working with you. And then my customer contract is down at the bottom. Then I'll hit send. Boom. Estimate sent to that number. Done. So you can see test up at the top. When they get it, they can accept it or they can decline it. Or they can call you back, and that's what's going to happen sometimes. You're going to have them call and say, hey, I want to go ahead with this project. So you can go in here and mark as accepted. Boom. Mark as accepted, right? And then it's going to change it over to a work order, or I can do that automatically and change it over to a work order. But I've got mine set up to where it automatically goes to a work order. All right, so this is a new work order. Schedule and assign. Glenn Jernigan, we can schedule it for today. Say I'm doing it today at 3 to 4. And then down at the bottom, it gives them a reminder. So I have mine set up a day before we're going to arrive on the property to do it. They're going to get a text message and an email reminding them, hey, we're coming to do XYZ on your property, and we'll be there between this time and this time. I always give myself about a 2-hour window because things come up, and giving them an exact time is very hard to do, especially when you have multiple jobs throughout the day. There's just no sense in it. As long as they have a window of time that you know you're going to be there, I've never had a problem with it. Time zone, obviously, and then you can go down to the bottom and you can schedule, okay? And then, so what we can do next is we can convert it to an invoice. I would like to convert it to an invoice. Yes. And then that's your invoice information. And if I hit check mark right here, it'll send over that invoice. And, you know, I'm not going to do that right now. My invoices, right? Correct? So it's showing all my invoices, or my invoice history. Okay. At the top, you see, it tells you what you're due. So I'm due $650, what I've been paid this month. So you can do weekly, monthly, yearly, however you want to do that, but you can just see everything. And I've got mine just set up in the monthly category to tell me exactly how much money I'm making every month. Again, you can set those parameters in the settings over here, and you have parameters for everything. So you can just go in there and really tweak this system to how you want. I wouldn't worry with it starting out, but you know, as you work, you're like, oh, well, it'd be better if I could see things this way, or it'd be better if I could change some little something about everything set up. So that settings, you can go in here and you can change how the scheduling work, how the estimates work, you can add your logo, add everything that you need to add. It has a thing down here for your taxes as well. So that's a really simple overview. Another really cool thing they have is a collage maker. They've got a virtual estimator. They've got your employees, costs, clock in for your employees. Everybody will have that, so when they show up, they can clock in and clock out at the end of the day. You can also keep track, so you can turn GPS tracking on, so it'll turn on their phone, and you'll know that they're not out messing around, that they're on the job, and you're paying them to do what they're supposed to be doing. Marketing. This is a cool feature right here. You can send out SMS blast or automation. You can send out email blast or automation. You can send out voicemails, deals, postcards, 360 finder. That's so you do a job at a house, you can see it'll send out postcards to everybody around that house. Okay. And these are all add-ons. These are not anything that you have to pay for at the beginning. Again, because at the beginning, you're not going to have the customers to be sending out a SMS blast. But, year 2, you're going to have a whole year 1 of customers. And why wouldn't you want to just send out an email or, something to all those people saying you're running a special, and you don't have to go in and individually email every one of them. You can just type out an email that you want sent with whatever message, whatever call to action, and you can send it out to everybody. Everybody gets the same thing. So this is just a quick run through of some of the things. If you have any questions, feel free to comment in the bottom. Ask. I would love to go over it with you. These are some of the ways that I used it that first year. Again, I'm using it a lot differently now because I'm integrated with Responsibid, and they're taking care of a lot of the estimate part of it. But I still use this quite a bit because it has to be there. This is a CRM. Responsibid is a sales tool. This is customer relations tool. So this keeps track of everything. I hope this helps somebody. If y'all have any questions about anything, again, put them down at the bottom. Y'all be easy. Stay safe. Peace.